Hi everyone and welcome. You're watching Eagle News. I am Rhoze Papa Angeles in Washington. It's Saturday, February 19, 2022 here in the nation's capital. This week's stories: Washington has lifted its proof of vaccination mandate for indoor establishments. Pennsylvania underscores driver and passenger protection for Highway Safety Law Awareness Week. Thomas I. Likeness, our correspondent at large, has several stories for us today, including a disappearing resort town in Brazil, a sound radar to catch noisy cars and motorbikes in Paris, plus a sibling rivalry that knows no heights. On Oceania at a glance, a potato snack shop called I Love Chips takes root in Australia. And an association of Filipinos in Papua New Guinea gets a new set of leaders. On Embassy Files, contemplative exhibit by two contemporary women artists is on display at the Korean Cultural Center. On Color My World, a conversation over breakfast with a national pioneer and South Texas legend, Dr. Gloria Randall Scott. On Health is Wealth, a Texas boxer shares with us some workout moves to stay on our feet. On ABC Sports International, Rams fans react to the team's Super Bowl 56 victory. Plus on Behind the Counter, Ika's recipe for baked lemon garlic salmon. Our coverage begins now. There's one less thing to carry around with you in Washington, D.C. As Eagle News correspondent Jessica Bautista tells us, the proof of vaccination mandate has been lifted.
After requiring people to show proof of vaccination before entering establishments such as restaurants, indoor gyms, and entertainment facilities, the District of Columbia drops that requirement beginning February 15, 2022. Mayor Muriel Bowser announces the latest easing of COVID-19 restrictions on her regular coronavirus situational update. The mayor's office reports that since the height of the Omicron wave in DC, COVID-19 cases have dropped by more than 90%, and there's been a 95% reduction in hospitalizations. Although the vaccine requirement, which was first implemented here in the district of January 15, 2022, has been lifted, businesses may choose to still keep vaccination requirements in place. Additionally, Mayor Bowser announces that beginning March 1, masks will not be required at restaurants, sports and entertainment venues, gyms, recreation centers, and indoor athletic facilities, houses of worship, businesses, grocery stores and pharmacies, retail establishments, DC government offices, areas with no public interactions. Masks, however, will still be required at any private business that wants to require use of masks by employees or customers.
Masks will still be required at any private business that requires the use of masks and puts up signage to that effect. Masks will still be required at schools, child care facilities and libraries, congregate facilities, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, shelters, dorms, and correctional facilities, healthcare and medical facilities, public transit, taxis, and rideshare vehicles, and DC government facilities with direct interaction between employees and the public. As an example, our DMV service centers and DHS service centers, to name two.
The district reports that as of February 14, 2022, there are 475 new confirmed positive COVID-19 cases, 133,295 overall positive cases total, and 1,309 COVID-related deaths. Jessica Bautista, Eagle News, Washington, D.C.
With a rising number of deaths on Pennsylvania highways, the push is on to make roads in the state safer. With more on that story, EBC's Myla Simbulan.
Pennsylvania's Highway Safety Law Awareness Week is approaching. Today, the Department of Transportation, or PennDOT, and Pennsylvania State Police, or PSP, come together with Penn State Health at their Lifeline hangar, highlighting driver safety laws and urging motorists to put safety first. According to early estimates from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, traffic fatalities in the country during the first 9 months of 2021 rose approximately 12% over 2020. In Pennsylvania, 2021 preliminary data shows deaths on our roadways have increased by as much as 10%. This includes an increase in fatalities in speeding crashes, distracted driving crashes, crashes involving a 16 or 17-year-old driver, as well as unrestrained fatalities. While fatalities in crashes involving impaired driving have remained relatively flat in recent years, data shows fatalities in crashes involving drinking drivers have been declining. However, fatalities in crashes involving drug drivers have been increasing.
Now, I think we'd all agree one fatality is too many, and increasing numbers of fatalities on our roadways is unacceptable. While we can't say for certain what's causing each and every fatalities and causing them to increase, I think we can all agree that safety on our roadways is everyone's responsibility. And as wonderful the services that are provided here by the Lifeline helicopter, I think we can all agree that we'd all be better off if it never had to be employed on one of our roadways in response to a vehicle crash. So we ask that you do your part. So help reduce those unrestrained fatalities by buckling up every trip, every time, whether you're the driver or the passenger, and make sure that everybody in your vehicle is also restrained.
In 2020, an estimated 94% of unbelted occupants, or 305 people, killed in crashes while traveling in passenger vehicles, including cars, small trucks, vans, and SUVs, could have survived if they had been buckled up. The U.S. Department of Transportation has released their new comprehensive National Roadway Safety Strategy, or NRSS. It is a roadmap for addressing roadway fatalities and serious injuries through the adoption of a safe system approach. The updated 2022 Pennsylvania Strategic Highway Safety Plan, similar to the new national strategy and anticipated to be finalized later this month, will incorporate safety system thoughts and practices. Myra Simbulan, Eagle News, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Myla. Our correspondent at large has several stories for us today. Everything from an update on the truckers' protest in Canada, a disappearing resort in Brazil, photo radar for noisy vehicles, and a brother trying to better his sister's aviation record. Here's ABC's Thomas I. Likeness.
And now news and commentary from around the world. Those protests in Canada, the ones against the COVID-19 restrictions, the public health restrictions, well, they've been heard and imitated globally. Here in Canada, it looks like they might be coming to an end. Borders to the United States have been cleared, allowing cross-border trade to resume, but, in the capital city of Ottawa, demonstrators there have been camped in the downtown area for more than 3 weeks now. This past week, the protests claimed the job of the Ottawa police chief. Peter Sloly resigned amid criticism over the way police have handled the situation. Now, police have promised to take stronger action if the demonstrators don't leave. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act to bolster those police efforts. Those who do not leave face arrest, stiff fines, seizure of their vehicles. To complicate matters further, it's a holiday weekend in Canada, and there are fears that this will draw even more people to the nation's capital. One thing that might temper the police response is the presence of a lot of children. That's right, a number of these weekend warriors brought their young kids with them. They don't seem to be too concerned about the potential dangers the youngsters face should things get violent. Child welfare authorities have told the hardcore protesters who refuse to leave they'd better make arrangements for someone to care for their children. You see, if they don't, and those protesters are arrested, the kids will end up in foster care. People who use children as human shields, just one word for them: cowards. This story is rapidly changing, and for the latest developments, check our website at eaglenews.net. On to other things now. This resort town in Brazil is disappearing at a rate of about 6 meters a year. Atafona is located just north of Rio de Janeiro, right on the Atlantic Ocean. It's prone to erosion, extreme erosion. Already 500 homes have been submerged. The coastline turned into an underwater graveyard of wrecked structures. Global warming making the problem worse. Local authorities have been looking for ways to stop the erosion, things like building dikes. But so far, nothing's been done. The projects exist only on paper. For the latest in traffic enforcement, we go to France. Now, you all know about photo radar, the gadget that can ticket vehicles for speeding and running red lights. Well, it may be going a step further in Paris. What you see on the screen is an automatic sound radar unit. Authorities in the City of Lights want to ticket loud vehicles. They say they want to calm the city. Officials say road traffic makes too much noise. They're trying out these gadgets for the next 3 months to check their reliability. If adopted, the sound radar will go into effect next year. Expected fine, €135. That works out to a little over $150 American. The biggest aviation event of the year in Asia is the Singapore Air Show. It's a bit different from the air shows that are held in your local area. What's to see? Well, the latest aircraft and equipment. Billions of dollars worth of deals expected to be done. The 4-day event is held every 2 years. Smaller crowds expected this year as the aviation sector recovers from the pandemic. Elsewhere in the world, the Rutherfords from Belgium want to keep aviation records in the family. Now, you might recall that Zara Rutherford, at the age of 18 last month, became the youngest person ever to fly solo around the world. Now, her 16-year-old brother Mark wants to beat his sister's record. But this is not a bitter rivalry.
Oh, no. So I actually couldn't have done it without her. Before, I always knew I wanted to do something special in my aviation career. But it's only after Zara flew around the world that I knew, yes, this is what I want to do. This is an amazing thing. And so she actually helped me bring me to this point.
So how does big sister Zara feel about this? Does she think her brother's trying to upstage her?
No, not at all. And actually in the whole Earth Rounder community, so people who've done it, we're really supportive of each other and making sure that we can help others break our records as much as possible. So if my brother will be breaking my record of the youngest person to fly around the world in a microlight, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really cool.
Mark plans to take off from Bulgaria March 17th. I wish you all peace, joy, and happiness in the ensuing week. Thomas I. Likeness, correspondent at large, Eagle News.
Thank you, Thomas. Betcha can't eat just one. That's what this Australian entrepreneur is hoping. We get the details from Eagle News correspondent Dan David Amazona.
The arrival of COVID-19 has taken a toll on economies across the globe. Jobs and livelihoods have been suffering ever since. However, two particular small business owners, husband and wife Ryan and Katrina Alarcon, have dared to defy the odds. Ryan and Katrina have created a potato fries business with the goal to bring something new, something fresh to the South Australian community. Since March 2020, this small business has taken chips fans by surprise, bringing this mouth-watering, palate-intriguing snack to residents.
So our business name is I Love Chips. From the name of our business, we love chips. And the inspiration for starting that one is we started as a food truck and we wanted to put it on a brick and mortar area because we wanted to expand our business not only here in Adelaide but in the other state of Australia, and hopefully we can go overseas as well. We really value customer service. That's the main thing. Because I believe that customer service and product, if you marry those two, you will have a good business.
As you step into the store, the youthful atmosphere, customer service, and food choices add to the total experience. There's a variety of chip seasonings such as, of course, the classic salt, but there's also barbecue and an out-of-the-box option, chicken salt. With this variety also comes the variety of customers frequenting this new food business.
Our business is not targeting mainly Filipinos. We didn't create this business mainly specifically for Filipinos. We created this business because we are here in Australia. We have a flavor that is generally applicable to all cultures, mainly for Australians. So we have different flavors that can cater to different people in different cultures. And also one of our popular flavors is the chicken salt. And chicken salt here is very common in Australia. So it doesn't cater to Filipinos, but to all of the generation and to all of the the people here in Australia.
As the phrase "I love chips" continues to get passed on to the people in South Australia, expansion seems inevitable.
It's really fun and it's really convenient, and we all work as a team. And it's just it's right in the middle of everything, so we get so busy and it's just fun.
So what are you trying to bring to the community?
A smile and just good customer service, and hope they really enjoy the food.
So this is a twister, and it's like a potato cut up into a coil, and you can like take pieces off it like this. It's like a chip on a stick. Super delicious. I'm definitely coming back. These are delicious.
Katharina and Ryan Alarcon are just one of many who, instead of being paralyzed by the effects of the pandemic, use these as an opportunity to put into motion goals they've been meaning to accomplish. From Adelaide, Australia, this is Dan David Amazona, Oceania at a Glance, Eagle News.
Thanks, Dan. In Papua New Guinea, the Association of Filipinos has announced its new leadership lineup. Eagle News correspondent Echo Hortaleza Quinola tells us more.
The Filipino Association of Papua New Guinea, or FAPNAG, officially announced its new officers for the year 2022 to 2023. Kapit Bisig Party sweeps the election with almost all of its candidates winning. This new set of leaders expressed commitment to carry forward the association's projects benefiting Filipinos here.
Maraming salamat sa inyong pong muling pagtitiwala. I feel so good kasi syempre may pagpapatuloy ko na uli ang pagtulong sa ating mga kababayan. Nagpapasalamat ako sa lahat ng sumuporta. Nagpapasalamat ako sa lahat ng bumoto, sa akin man o hindi.
When away from the motherland, it is always a relief to be around those who understand your situation and help address things that concern the community to which you belong. Echo Hortaleza Quinola, Oceania at a Glance, Eagle News.
Thank you, Echo. All things Korean in this week's edition of Embassy Files. Cut, Copy, Paste is the name of a new art exhibition in Washington, D.C. EBC's Arlene Ocampo brings us that story.
Cut, Copy, Paste. An exhibition at the Korean Cultural Center will showcase the works of Sun-Young Kim and Sun-Yul Kang. The exhibit is guest curated by Hannah Shambroom of the National Museum of Women in the Arts. The displays are described as versatile works of tedious manual techniques that produce dreamy paper collages, perforated canvases, and wax sculptures. Sunyul Kang's pieces are made by layering small pieces of handmade hanji paper into collages and small, round sculptures. For each paper, she writes a single word and then rewrites it on traditional Korean mulberry paper with dark ink. She then cuts the words into small rectangular pieces from which she creates a soothing layout. The small paper pieces come together to form a larger structure. On the other hand, Soo-yeon Kim's pieces have the opposite process. She cuts specific lace-like incisions into painted canvases, creating a design by removing the material. In some of her other works, she scatters bits and pieces of the removed canvas on the ground. Although these modern Korean artists have their individual art styles, their pieces have one thing in common: calmness. The 31 intricate pieces of artwork will be on display until March 23, 2022. There is a virtual guided tour that will be released as well. Check out the Korean Embassy's website at www.overseas.mofa.go.kr for detailed information about the exhibit. Stay tuned to Eagle News for more from the nation's capital. Arlene Ocampo, Embassy Files, Eagle News.
Thanks, Arlene. In Corpus Christi, Texas, we joined Jane Kathleen Gregorio for breakfast and a history lesson with a national pioneer and South Texas legend, Dr. Gloria Randall Scott. Dr. Scott is the first African American to have graduated in zoology at Indiana University, the first African American elected president of the Girl Scouts organization, and former president of Bennett College. For Black History Month, we hear from Dr. Scott as she shares stories of overcoming segregation in her youth, being present in Memphis when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, and paving the way for girls of all color to achieve their dreams.
In honor of Black History Month, we take a look at the life and legacy of civic and education leader Dr. Gloria Randall Scott, a champion for civil rights, becoming the first African American to earn a bachelor's degree in zoology at Indiana University, where she also earned her master's and doctorate's degree years later. She was the first African American instructor at a predominantly white institution in Indiana and was the first African American elected president of the Girl Scouts of America. She has also served as vice president of Clark College in Georgia and later was elected as president of Bennett College in North Carolina. She has received numerous awards, has been recognized by U.S. presidents, and even has an official day, June 18th, named after her in honor by the city of Corpus Christi. For Dr. Gloria Scott, life began in the 3rd Ward District of Houston, Texas, at a time when communities were racially segregated.
I was born April 14th, 1938, at Old Jefferson Davis Hospital in Houston, Texas. It was the county hospital, and all poor people went there because all the other hospitals were private hospitals in Houston. The house that I grew up in they were called shotgun houses because you could stand outside the front door and see straight through to the back from the street, and they call them shotgun. You could shoot a gun straight through and not touch anything. I was always interested in plants and animals, and I guess human beings in terms of the health living of them. In Houston, at the time that I grew up there in 3rd Ward anyway, there were ditches on every street, where when it rained, the water would fill the ditches up all the time. Frogs used to really fascinate me. In fact, that's the animal I did my master's research on. My master's thesis was done on frogs when I went to Indiana University. Black female student at Indiana University in 1955, majoring in zoology and botany, minoring in botany, and interested in genetics, the genetics of living things. And that's what I spent my next years. I got my bachelor's in I was a freshman in 1955. Graduated with my bachelor's degree in 1959. Into the master's program in 59. Got my master's degree in 1961, and then was enrolled in the doctoral program and finished up my doctorate and graduated in 1965 with my PhD.
In April of 1968, Dr. Gloria Randall Scott happened to be in Memphis, Tennessee, when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
Segregation was still so rampant in this country, and Dr. Martin Luther King was trying hard to get the country to come together. So we were in the march from Greensboro. I was president of Bennett College in Greensboro, and I had decided, as I looked at things, that it was appropriate, one of the HBCU presidents, which I was, to join this march. And we were to spend the night in Memphis at the Lorraine Hotel. I had eaten dinner with my other friends, acquaintances, and we had just stepped outside the door, of the restaurant to the outside area. Dr. King and his entourage were on the second floor of the Lorraine Hotel. The motel rooms were across, the parkway from us. And they were standing up there, and he was speaking, of course, and all of a sudden, this loud gunshot to my right or out in the bayou on the other side of the Lorraine Hotel. And you didn't see the bullet, you couldn't see that but you heard the blast of the gun, and then you saw Dr. King just, it hit him in his chest, and he just fell over. The security man caught him so he didn't fall over. There were sirens of the police and I guess the ambulance. We don't know if the person's going to be shooting everything around, shooting people around or whatever. So go back inside. But I said, no, I'm going to stand right here and watch. And I did. And so the ambulance came, and we saw them bring his body down the stairs, put it in the ambulance, and head to the hospital with it. Of course, he later died there.
To this day, Dr. Gloria Randall Scott continues to hold the torch in lighting a path for people from all walks of life to be able to freely pursue their dreams and help impact the world positively.
As long as you're looking appropriate, it doesn't matter what you look like to other people. You're not trying to compete with other people to look a particular way. At least I was never, and I don't think that doesn't make any difference. Like once I saw snow, I had never seen snow before. And I said, oh, what is all this white stuff? That taught me something right there. The world is multifaceted and varied all over. And so the fact that you have never seen something doesn't mean it should be a deterrent or you should be afraid of it. But you know that that's a part of real life and other people too. And you just move into it in a positive way and get done whatever you want to get done. And to know that there are always people waiting to help.
Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Color My World, Eagle News.
Thanks, Kathleen. Looking for something different to incorporate into your workout? In this edition of Health is Wealth, a Texas boxer shows us some of his moves to stay in shape. With more, EBC's Fendel Feheran.
Health is wealth. For those of you looking to hit your exercise goals, perhaps some inspiration and motivation will move you into action. In this week's segment, we have licensed amateur boxer Jericho Montefalcon from San Antonio, Texas, who will share with us 5 different workouts that boxers use to help stay fit. But in this week's segment, we will get tips on arm and abs exercises. Let's take a look.
Beginners can try knee push-ups. Kneel on the floor. You can use a mat or a rug to support your knees. Lower your body until your chest nearly touches the floor. Then push yourself back up. An intermediate version is the standard push-up. First, get down on all fours. placing your hands slightly wider than your shoulders. Strengthen your arms again. Lower your body until your chest nearly touches the floor, and then pause and then push yourself back up. The expert version is the clapping push-ups. You start in a plank position and do a regular push-up. As you press up, push hard as high off the ground as possible. Clap your hands quickly before returning to the starting position. Next, we will focus on the abdominal muscles, also known as abs. A beginner ab workout is the Russian twist. First, sit with the bent knees and your feet pressing firmly into the floor. Second, holding your hands next to your chest. Third, sit back slightly, keeping your spine straight. Exhale as you twist to your left, punching your right arm over the left side. Inhale as you place your arms back to the center, and then repeat the same on the opposite side. Intermediate ab workout is known as the mountain climber. Put both of your hands and knees on the floor. Switch your legs back and forth position. The expert version of the ab workout is the flutter kick. Lie face up with legs straight and feet flexed. Draw your belly button towards the spine. Use your abdominals to lift your legs about 45 degrees off the floor. Lift the left leg, then the right, then the left, and then repeat.
There you have it. Give those a try with me and meet me back here next week to get tips on leg and full body exercises by licensed amateur boxer Jericho Montefalcon from San Antonio, Texas. Now remember, for your own health and safety before you start any fitness program, make sure you consult with your physician. Now let's stretch and stay hydrated. Health is wealth. Friends Alpha Heron, Eagle News.
Thanks, Fendel. Super Bowl is over. Los Angeles fans are happy. EBC's Megs Australia tells us they are still basking in the glory of the Rams' win.
It goes without saying that Los Angeles is a sports-heavy city and is routinely in the mix when discussions revolve around franchise teams in the MLB, NBA, and MLS. Football, however, has been one sport wherein LA came up short not only because of the absence of championships, but more obviously due to the lack of a team. Fast forward to the present, not only has Los Angeles secured 2 football teams, they've also built a shiny new stadium, and thanks to the Rams' win over the Cincinnati Bengals at Super Bowl 56, have delivered an NFL championship to the city.
The Rams are winners. They've always been winners. This is a new tradition. This is going to be it for now on. The Rams are number 1.
My reaction to the game was that I had a feeling the whole time that Matt Stafford was going to win the game on the final play, which he kind of did. But I just always had a feeling that they were going to come back and win it. So, yeah, it was pretty cool to watch, and I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for Cooper Kupp because I think he's an amazing receiver. And, yeah, I'm just happy for the city of LA because that's, 3 championships now with the Lakers, the Dodgers, and the Rams.
Super Bowl number 56 belongs to the LA Rams. A Hollywood ending is pretty crazy. So, number 1, baby, let's go.
Barely a few days removed from the Super Bowl, and analysts are already speculating over the Rams roster next season and if the defending champs have a shot at a repeat. However, many Angelinos prefer to ponder about the future later, choosing instead to take a page out of head coach Sean McVay's playbook to enjoy this moment. Megs Australia, Eagle News, Los Angeles.
Thanks, Megs. Hope you're hungry. As we go behind the counter, this week's EBC's Aika Era shows us how to prepare baked lemon garlic salmon.
Hey, I'm Aika, and welcome back to Behind the Counter, where we see easy and tasty meals be brought to life. Well, It's official. We have a sophisticated dish for you today, and it's baked lemon garlic salmon. This recipe is simply the zest. Check back here for full recipes, and if there's a dish that you'd like to see, let us know in the comments below. Catch us on EagleNewsLive.com, on our Eagle News YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. Check back next week when we go behind the counter.
Thanks, Aika. Thank you all for watching. View, like, share our other online shows, City Limits with Alan Vasayahe, Connected with Dr. David, Take a Seat and Join Us with Anaqui, Play Date with Mike Hudson and Friends, plus Journey, Stories of Filipinos in Canada with Kathleen Cruz. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eagle News Live. I am Rose Papa Angeles. Have a happy weekend, everyone.